Welcome to the College Football X with your hosts, Jon Nelson and John Wilkerson.
Mid-September was kind of an early time to play some big rivalry games that used to be played on Thanksgiving weekend. We had the Backyard Brawl, which Pitt won. We had the Civil War, which Oregon won over Oregon State. The Apple Cup, thank God it's still around. Welcome to the College Football X. I'm John Wilkerson, along with Jon Nelson.
Yeah.
Washington State got it done against UW, their arch rival. Played on the Seahawks field at Lumen.
Lumen. Hello, Lumen.
And I tell you, Pac12 has had a great week. We'll explain a little bit more about that. But later in the show, Ryan Leaf from the CW Network and with the Pac12 will join us to talk about that, famous Washington State alum.
Yeah.
Okay. The Pac-12 making noise about refilling its roster, but what a way, because it seemed a little like there's a lot of people very skeptical about all this, and
You're a skeptical?
well, everybody seemed to be skeptical what you read about what the Pac-12 is doing and how they're doing it and their method to their madness. But they came out, they picked 4 teams. We'll talk about it here in a minute, but for Washington State to go and beat Washington, now the Big Ten, I think has got generate some great momentum for the Pac-12 or whatever version is going to be called to come back.
Yeah, and there is, for those of us of a certain vintage that watch, how do we phrase this? Sports entertainment. And it is on pretty much any night of the week, depending on which federation you pay attention to. And there was a particular group that always used to enjoy sticking it to the man when we were a lot younger. And one of their favorite moves to authority was the DX chop. And so basically that's what this was. Since we are in the College Football X, it was the X chop.
Mm-hmm.
It was the X chop to those who have left the Tupac. And you got to see, you leave, sir? You leave? How dare you leave your situation? You see what happens? You see what happens when you leave?
Yes, but it's also helpful when you got in-state bitter rivals going at it on a neutral stadium, pretty much, and just added to the intrigue. But the Pac-12 did make a move. They did raid the Mountain West. What a shock. Boise State, Colorado State.
Now we know why those relationships to play those games were only for a year. Why that relationship with the Tupac and the Mountain
West. You kind of knew. Knew.
Hey. You want to do this for more than a year? And the Tupac is kind of like, nah, we're good. Now we know why.
Yeah. Well, Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, all coming into the Pac-6.
A lot of states.
So it's 4. Yeah, 4 states.
To make the 6-pack, yeah.
Then to make it a 6-pack, exactly. I like the move. Boise State, obviously a brand name now.
Yeah.
Colorado State gives them the Denver market. Fresno State, okay. Central California, some population, maybe it gets you the Bay Area. San Diego State, obviously a large TV market. So what I'm surprised is UNLV is not on that initial list.
Yeah.
And are they going after the Rebels? Because I think they got to have UNLV as an anchor.
Yeah, I think so, especially with what Barry Odom is doing there now. I think that you grab it's literally, it's like grabbing the hot prospect. You draft the hot prospect, you bring him in. And I think that when you listen to our guest that runs the anchor leg this week, it's interesting how he presents it. In previous talks, it's like, it's not going to be 14 or 15. It's not going to be the old Pac-12 or anything like that. And it's not going to be chasing after any of the 1AAs or anything like that. He doesn't think that they have the cash. But maybe 8 or 9. Get a couple more, and you've got to get the hot hand in UNLV, I think, to make this work.
Yeah, well, I think UNLV needs to be that anchor. And you got to own the Vegas market because it is an up and coming sports market. They've already hosted the Super Bowl. Obviously, they'll probably win a college football playoff final.
The Raiders
Yeah,
played it.
so that is a must. If you got to have that anchor because I mean it's a viable market and they can host big time events, and having the Pac-12 logo out there would help big time. So it looks like the paddles have been applied
Excuse me?
to the big to the Pac-12.
Wait a minute there, sir. What?
And there's a pulse, and the pulse is getting stronger.
Clear.
Exactly. All right. Some interesting movement in the AP poll. Texas
How interesting
leapfrogs
is it?
Georgia,
Yeah, whatever.
which I think is going to make that game in a few weeks little saltier.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm thinking. And if you thought that Kirby was going to have enough bulletin board material for that matchup in Austin, son, you've been leapfrogged. Don't tell me for a second. Don't tell me for a second that that's not going to be plastered on every single whiteboard in every meeting room attached to the football program there in Athens. Don't tell me that that's not. And don't tell me that if there's any bulletin board material that won't make it. Any of the Texas student athletes that want to decide to say something that gets quoted, requoted, and posted on social media, like that.
Oh, no.
Like that won't be put on any board in the meeting rooms at the University of Georgia. They're waiting. You have graduate assistants. I guarantee you, you have graduate assistants for the next week. When we circle back here this time next week, that graduate assistants will have scoured every Texas piece of newspaper, social media, or app looking for bulletin board material, and it will be found and it will be plastered on every wall in every conference room, because that 1 versus 2 is going to be in blanking sane. It will not make football on a budget. I can guarantee you that.
No, that'll be premium seating in Austin, Texas. But the timing of it all is what I find interesting. Georgia struggles against Kentucky, Texas boat races, Texas San Antonio with Arch Manning,
It was
the new star of college football.
Yay.
Yeah, guns up. And the pattern that the powers that be in college football, Big Ten and SEC battling it out. You look at the top 10 of the AP poll. There's only one non-SEC or Big Ten team in the top 10, and that's Miami. The ACC. So we're seeing exactly what the powers that be want. You got two, let's go ahead and call them the power two, the mid two, and the group of 5.
Yeah.
Look, maybe the group of 4.
It is. The CFP is doing what's best for business. And what's best for business is the ESPN conference and the Big FOX conference having as many of their names as humanly possible up on the board.
Yeah.
Make sure that they're getting noticed and that they can have their kickoff shows and their big shows and their big rivalries and their primetime matchups where they need to be in their day parts so they can get all of the viewers. That's where we are. That's not a surprise, nor should it be a surprise about all of this. And the non 4-letter and 3-letter conference team that has their own independent network that's off to the side. You've got one team and it's that one. That's where you are right now. Sure. Yeah. Why not?
The highest ranked Big 12 team is Utah at 12, but then you got Utah at 12, 13, Kansas State at 13, and Oklahoma State at 14.
I think Utah's better than the University of Coral.
I think Kansas State's better than 13. To be honest with you, I watched them against Arizona. That's an impressive team. And they're just going to get better. They've got all the parts. They got good interior line. I was really impressed with the Wildcats when they beat Arizona in Manhattan. And then you look toward the bottom, you really only have one group of 5 in right now, Northern Illinois, and they deserve it. They defeated Notre Dame. They got a game this weekend. And then
listen to last week's show, by the way.
Yeah. And then NC State is on the schedule after that at Carter Finley in Raleigh, a winnable game for Northern Illinois. So they put an early marker up as being that not that Pac-10, but that Pac-12, but that group of 5 team that can get that automatic bid. But then you got Memphis, who, well, I'm not going to say who they beat. Boise State, a brand name.
Just go ahead and say it. You're not. Look, I'm past the point. I'm past the point of anger.
And then I really like Washington State as being a representative in the playoff, and perhaps having a good run. The way, because when you look at their Washington State schedule, it's not that bad going into the playoff.
Representative, yes. No, I think you're spot on. I mean, I will be looking at everyone who is on the outside looking in, and how they are getting misranked, because you can't be unranked. Well, I guess you can be unranked, but you're ranked in some polls, but you're not ranked in the poll that matters. So you're being misranked, I guess, for lack of a better phrase.
Is that a new phrase now, misranked?
You're misranked as well. I mean, you can't be, because, I mean, look, if you're unranked, that means that traditionally you're outside the top 25, and the teams that we're talking about that are outside on the outside looking in, they're not teams that are 26 and below. They're the teams that are 13 to 25. They're still ranked. So now they're misranked in the eyes of the CFP as opposed to being unranked, which they're not. So I guess we have no choice in the matter.
And there'll be a test on this.
Yes, there will be. There will be math.
There'll be multiple choice, and yes, there'll be a math equation at the end.
Yes.
Now, looking at the AP poll, one team has really snuck up on us, and that's the Fighting Illini of Illinois.
God.
I had no clue they were 3-0. I just kind of fell asleep on the Illini, but you boat race Eastern Illinois.
With all the food that could be eaten in the state of Illinois, I could understand why.
I mean, you boat race Eastern Illinois. You get a big win over Kansas, who's become a disappointment now, and Central Michigan. You whoop up on the Chippewas. You're 3-0. You're getting into the top 25, and now you get a trip to Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska, in a 22 versus 24 game on Friday night, which is going to be appointment television for me.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun one. I'm sorry. I was not aware that Illinois was where Illinois was. And
again, they snuck up on us. How
can you sneak up on people when you're Illinois? You're not a small state.
And when you got Bert Bielema, as most people call him.
Bert. Yes, I know. How can you can't sneak up on people if you're Bert Bielema. You just can't. It's not possible. Not possible, sir.
Well, we're going to find out what team Illinois has, because after Nebraska, win or lose, they go to Happy Valley to take on Penn State. So they close September, rather loudly with those two blue blood programs. And then after that, they host Michigan. And then after that, they go to Eugene, Oregon to take on the Ducks. So
bang, bang, bang.
We are in the meat of the Fighting Illini schedule, and
you're talking sandwiches about Illinois.
You get through that 4-0, and maybe we'll talk big time Illini comeback here. But if they may get through that at best 2-2, because that is a tough stretch, even for any known commodity.
Yeah. I'm not optimistic. I mean, we have friends that are attached to the network that are alums, and they're somewhat stunned. So that should tell you all you need to know. It should tell you
all right. So we've told you a lot what's going on in college football. A little later in the show, we're going to find out where the best bargain in college football is for week 4 of the college football season. We'll wrap up We'll wrap it up a little after that. But John, what's coming up after this?
I believe it is the man running the anchor leg. It is rapid fire with Ryan Leaf. We actually pinned him down for about 10 minutes to find out about everything going on in his universe, and it's a lot. Stick here on the College Football X on the OSG Sports Network. More when we come back after this.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I'm partnering with the American Red Cross this year to tackle blood shortages. Giving blood's important because every 2 seconds, someone actually needs blood, and unfortunately, only like 3% of the U.S. population donates. So we have to step up to give and to make sure there's plenty of blood available for those in need. Visit redcrossblood.org to get in the game and make an appointment to give.
The online sports guys would love to hear from you. Go to our X page, formerly known as Twitter @OSG Sports, for a comment, rant, or just whatever is on your mind about college football. Now back to the College Football X. Here's Jon Nelson.
College Football X continues our X Factor. The man running the anchor leg, Ryan Leaf, Washington State. We're going to talk about what's all across the chest. We got Apple Cup, we got realignment, we got study hall, all this kind of thing. Ryan, thanks for hanging out with us here on the X.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about what happened with Apple Cup. Break it down. You got to win, and you get to run out the door and sit there and wave the flag at the folks at Wazzou, at Washington. Well, congrats.
Yeah,
19.
Feels really good. No one gave Washington State a chance over the last 2 weeks, I don't think, against an up-and-coming Big 12 team in Texas Tech, and then the University of Washington over in Seattle. And Jake Dickert got this group of players that seemingly no one wanted to great heights. I think it's amazing. I think it really is. It's incredibly shows incredible wherewithal and the focus going forward. I just don't think there's a better person in that chair as a head coach for my alma mater than Jake Dickert. It's remarkable what he's been able to do with this team, to have them at 3-0. They should be probably top 15. If Utah's 12 and Oklahoma's 15, then I would argue that Washington State's top 15 team right now too. So the fact that they're not is just kind of shows you what everybody thinks they know. So I'm excited for them. They got a couple great games in the next 2 weeks that really could solidify something. And, they could throw a big old grenade into this party that is the first year of the 12-team playoff.
All right, so let's talk about the 12, and it's the resurrection of the Pac-12. It was the 2-pack, now it's a 6-pack, could be an 8-pack, now to a 12-pack. Everything seems to be circling back to where it was when it comes to the conference that you played in.
Yeah, and it was always the case. The delusion that people thought that these athletic directors or commissioner of the Pac-12 were entertaining the ACC or the Big 12 is idiotic. They were never entertaining any other place to go than to rebuild the Pac-12. You know why? Because they just depleted the Mountain West significantly. And I think people are confused around the 12-team playoff. There's no automatic bids, zero. There are 5 conference champions that are the highest ranked. And now, adding 2 more teams, if that's the case, which I believe they're going to do here rather quickly, they'll be eligible next season. And you almost guarantee that they're going to get a playoff spot simply because their main competition is going to be the American. And I do think they're going after a couple of those teams that are at the very top of that. So you then deplete that, and you're talking about the 5th conference that we're talking about, and that's the one that goes. Now, do they crash the party and get a bye? I find it hard to believe that the committee is going to take a Pac-12 champion over another one of those champions of the other Power 4 conference or something. But who knows? But plain and simple, we're talking about a first-round playoff game in Pullman, in Corvallis, or in Boise, most likely early on, until those other teams start to build up their rosters and can compete. like a Boise can year in, year out in that conference. So you imagine Pullman, Washington, December 7th, in walks Tennessee as a 10th ranked team coming to Pullman or Corvallis or Boise. I think it's amazing. I think they knew exactly what they were doing when they got left behind. I think Teresa Gould and these athletic directors, along with the presidents, have been playing chess when everybody else has been playing checkers, plain and simple. And when realignment happens again, because it's going to at some point, they own the Pac-12 brand, and the people that are making the say on who they let in and who they say can't, when some teams may be coming crawling back, they can be petty about it, or they can just, take the high road, but understand that they hold something over somebody. So I applaud them and their efforts when hope seemed lost just a year ago.
I'm hearing Memphis. I've heard raiding the Missouri Valley Conference. I've heard Montana being a part of things, North Dakota State, South Dakota State. I'm hearing a lot of stuff now heading in that Pac-12 direction to turn it into a 12 once again.
No, I don't think it's going to get to 12. I think it's going to be 8, maybe 9.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to get to a place where they want divisions. They just want a straight up conference and play everybody. And that's smart. Then you don't have to worry about the committee going, oh, they didn't play Georgia in the East this year or something like that, where you got a bunch of things. I think 8 and 9 is going to be the sweet spot there. No way an FCS school gets in. No way. They're just not competitive enough. They are not big enough, physical enough. That would take years for them to do it. I see Tulane, Memphis are the two out of the American. Wouldn't surprise me if UNLV gets a real hard look the way they're up and coming, the market there with Las Vegas. So those are the ones I'm expecting to take a look at.
3-minute warning. We're playing it in 10 CFL rules here with Ryan Leaf, one of the busiest men in college football. Here is the run of the anchor leg on the X this week. Study hall for you. You're getting ready for Wazzou and San Jose State. What's sticking out so far in the early returns?
Well, I don't have them. I have Purdue, Oregon State this weekend. I'm looking at it as a fan. Short week, Friday night, but the CW. No other game. Standalone opportunity on a Friday night on a national network, I think is going to do big things. And we don't want to see a letdown. And I don't think for a second Coach Dicker and his staff are ever going to let that happen. Or look past them to Boise down the road. It would be just the irony of beating Washington and then maybe beating Boise a week ago, but because you weren't locked in, you get beat by the Spartans who are coming to town.
Right.
I remember when San Jose State came calling in '97. I think we hung 55 on them by halftime. So,
all right, study hall for your game. What are you looking at so far with you this weekend?
Well, two teams that just got the absolute doors blown off them both. Purdue by Notre Dame and Oregon State by their rival Oregon. I called the Oregon State game, and I was surprised a little bit that it was that bad. I was also surprised at how conservative Oregon State was. And maybe they just knew. Maybe they just knew they did not have the horses to compete against the likes of them, which I don't believe to be true, but there was a lot of fear there. And so get out of that game healthy, recoup, and then take on a beat up Big Ten team. So that's the hope, that they take on Purdue and get to feel that energy of winning again. They got to run the football, play good defense, but they have to find a way to become explosive. They just don't have the explosive plays as of yet, and they need to showcase those. Otherwise, when they get into games where you have a fierce opponent on offense that can go up and down the field a little bit, you're not going to be able to match them. And so you got to get turnovers, and you got to be physical, and you got to be explosive somewhere. So those are the biggest things they got to need to work on. As for Purdue, same thing. I mean, they just got absolutely evaporated by Notre Dame. They have to find who they are. Graham Harrell is the offensive coordinator, so there's some very familiar offensive system to me with that. His Texas Tech days, he spent some time at Washington State as well, so he's been out in the Northwest. So long trip for them. Late afternoon, 5:30 Pacific kick there in Corvallis. So excited to get that call. Me and Ted Robinson and Nigel Burton will be on that for the CW.
Looking forward to it. One of the busiest men, audio, video, college football. Ryan, it's great to see you, my friend. Have a great call. Be safe with your travels. We'll catch up with you soon here on the X and everything else here at OSG Sports. Thanks for hanging out.
You bet, man. Thanks for the opportunity.
College football on a budget and the rest of the show coming up right after this.
Everyone can help keep our roads safe. When I'm driving my truck, I'll remember to check my mirrors for smaller vehicles. And when you're on the road, try to avoid lingering in my blind spots. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Visit www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Looking to attend a college football game on the cheap? We've got you covered. It's college football on a budget on the College Football X.
Time to find out where your best bang for the buck, where a couple of bucks will get you into a college football game, week 4 of the college football season. And next time you go to a Tennessee game, or when you buy Tennessee tickets, you're going to have to pay a talent fee.
Might be the same.
10% talent fee on your tickets. So I'm not sure if we're ever going to have Tennessee as our college football on a budget. So Neyland Stadium might be off your list.
Well, as long as the ticket is $9 going in, then we'll be okay. Because
how do you pay for a $9 ticket when you got a 10% talent fee?
But that's what I'm saying. If you add the 10% talent fee, that's $9.90. It's still under.
Okay. But they got to raise funds for their collective.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So we're going to start off with potentially our best budget game of the year, or not the year, of the week. And that is in College Park, Maryland, where the Terrapins are hosting
the game of the year this week.
Yeah, exactly. Where Villanova goes to College Park, Maryland to take on the Maryland Terrapins. This would be a great men's college basketball game, but as a football game, $4.
I'll save you a click. No.
I think I'm going to pass on that one.
Yeah, that's Pasadena for me.
At Lincoln Financial Field, where we saw the Falcons defeat the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday night.
This one's gone up.
Well, now they're going to back that up with there it is. Temple hosting Utah State.
I mean, it was a lot lower than this earlier in the week, and now it's $9. So I don't know. Maybe the ticket folks in Philly see something in Utah State that we don't. I would probably go just to maybe get a Philly cheese or something. But I'll say I would give it a conditional ding. I won't go ding, ding, ding. I'll give it a ding for $9.
Okay. Well, I'm sure there's several people in Logan, Utah area where Utah State is located would like a trip to Philly to check out the historical sites. So I can see why the prices might have went up.
Utah State's 6.5, 53.5. Maybe they get out of there with a win too.
All right. For $8.
No.
Head to Ypsilanti, Michigan.
Nope.
Eastern Michigan and St. Francis.
Nope.
Is that a hard no?
That's a hard no, because our friends at Eastern Michigan have been in football on a budget on several times already this season, and it was less than $8. So why am I spending more to see the green and silver turf, or the green and gray or whatever it is at Reinerson, when I could have paid less to see it earlier in the year? So the answer is no. See it earlier in the season when it's less expensive.
I think I know where Brother Marty's going this weekend. He's heading to the Steel City because for $7 he can watch his alma mater, Youngstown State, take on the Pitt Panthers.
Well, and I'm glad that you bypassed Kent at Penn State at 3:30 for $8 at Beaver Stadium in Happy Valley. Penn State's 48.
All right, so Western Pennsylvania's got a couple of really bargain deals going on.
Well, but I'm not going to Happy Valley. Penn State's a 48.5, 56.5. That's not happening. Youngstown and Pitt, shoot, I'd go $7 to get a Primani sub and some other things going on. Shoot, yeah, Youngstown and Pitt, I'm in, and Marty's going. Look, we could buy 7 seats for $50 at Acrisure.
In a good section.
So no, I'm in. There's no number that's attached right now. No spread, no juice boxes attached. So for $7, I'm in. Ding, ding, ding.
All right. Well, how about this? We could probably head over to Connecticut to watch UConn host Florida Atlantic. $7 to get in.
No, not so much. And I'm not spending $9 to go to Red Floyd to see Duke and Middle Tennessee either. Duke's a 14, 52.5. UConn is a 2.5, 46.5. This one screams the under, and I'm saying $5 at Pratt & Whitney. No, I'm going over to Hard Health Stadium to go see Hartford Athletic instead.
This one's intriguing for less than $10, and I might go. New Mexico State traveling to Huntsville, Texas to take on Sam Houston.
Ding, 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 ding. Hit this one as hard as humanly possible. Sam Houston's a 16.5, 44.5. I'm going. I'm looking for chaos. It's a great environment. At least it was in 1AA when the Bearcats with a K were making runs toward national championship.
That's with a K.
I imagine that's still the same. So I'm going ding, ding, ding. I'm going.
All right. I'm right there with you. I'll be there. Paying my $9 and getting in. So obviously your best bargain is in College Park, Maryland for the Terps in Villanova.
Well, maybe.
And I think I'm going to pass on that one.
Okay. Well, we got a couple in 1AA. We'll go rapid fire here.
All right. Go rapid fire.
At Harvard Stadium, Cambridge, Massachusetts, Stetson at Harvard, $7.
That's at Harvard?
That's at Harvard. Ding, ding, ding.
Okay. I saw a hockey game there. I thought it was kind of cool. I think I'd go see a game at Harvard Stadium.
Memorial Field, Hanover, New Hampshire, Fordham and Dartmouth for $9.
Okay. I'm always up for an Ivy League game.
Yeah, and so I think I'm there. 6 o'clock, $7. And may the ghost of Tubby Raymond be with us all. And J-Dub. Penn at Delaware, $7. Delaware Stadium in Newark.
Well, of course, I have to go because the one who must be obeyed is a Delaware alum.
Absolutely.
And I'd be wearing my Delaware sweatshirt. That all ends next year when Delaware joins Conference USA and my alma mater, Missouri State, joins Conference USA, and they become conference rivals.
Wow.
So that ends.
Wow.
But at least for this year, I could still cheer for the Blue Hens, and I would pay that to watch them.
Wow. Okay, so that takes care of FCS 1AA, whatever you want to call it, because we did have some there as well. So we did have a couple of places that we'd be interested in going to see in lower than FBS.
So it's our job here at the College Football X, our service to try to find you the best bargain for college football. And we take that seriously. We know
give, never take.
If you can get in for less than $10, or if they pay you to come watch it, we're gonna let you know.
We're giving.
All right. That'll do it for the college football on a budget for this week. When we come back, we'll tie a bow on week 3 and look forward to week 4.
Please like and subscribe.
We're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
The online sports guys would love to hear from you. Go to our X page, formerly known as Twitter, at OSG Sports for a comment, rant, or just whatever is on your mind about college football. Now back to the College Football X. Here's John Wilkerson.
It's time to tie a bow on the College Football X. Looking forward to another round of games. Some big, some well,
not so
intriguing.
big.
No, let's go with intriguing. Come on, you put a positive spin on this.
Intriguing. Okay.
Okay, Friday night, Lincoln, Nebraska. The Cornhuskers hosting the Fighting Illini of Illinois. Number 24, Illinois. Number 22, Nebraska. Didn't see both teams ranked in this one.
Oh.
I think this has the potential to be a 9-3 type of game. But the way Nebraska played against Colorado, there's going to be some carryover, I think, from that, and some momentum built for that. And Illinois is a mystery to me. I haven't really seen them yet, but I know what kind of offense they're going to run because of Brett Bielema, what he did at Arkansas, and Barry Lunny Jr. is their offensive coordinator.
Wow.
So it's going to be a power eye type of thing. So it just smells like a 9-3 type of game.
I don't think they make the 42.5. I think Nebraska covers. I think it's at the end when they do cover. It's probably a 10-point game. It's probably 21-10, somewhere in there, 20-10. I got to go with Nebraska here winning at home. I just don't see a whole lot of offense coming out of Illinois.
NC State Clemson. Clemson's been a disappointment from the opening week, and they still haven't gotten rid of that stink. NC State was supposed to be better, but they're playing like the NC State we've known and loved for the past 15 years.
The NC State where Dave Doran is looking for a contract extension.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the timing's everything. I just can't get a good gauge on this game. You like Clemson because they're at home, but I tell you, this is a hard one to get a feel on.
Not by 20 though. I don't. As much as because you don't know which Klubnik you're going to get, and as much as I would like for him to turn around and hand it off to running back Phil because he's a bad Maffa, and shut your mouth. It might be one-dimensional when it comes to Clemson, and God knows what you're going to get from NC State. So 46.5 is the total. I don't think they get there, and it's a noon kick, so I really don't think they're going to get there. And I don't know if Clemson gets to the 20. I think Clemson wins it. I don't think they get to the 20, and I don't think they get to the 46.5.
This game should be played in Pasadena.
Arkansas State, Iowa State.
No.
Damn.
USC and Michigan. Why are they playing at the Big House? They should be playing at the Rose Bowl. I like USC.
I do too. Michigan has proven nothing to me other than they're not very good. And USC is 6 and 46.5. So you're thinking what, 30-17, somewhere in there. If you're looking at maybe a 2-score, I don't know. So 47, but divided by 6, 3 each way. So like 27-20. I mean,
okay, I'll go with that, but man, you're going way too deep in math.
But I don't see
going way too deep in math.
But I don't see Michigan. But my point is, I don't see Michigan getting 20.
No, I don't either. Not with that offense.
And so I'm thinking, I don't know if we get to the 46.5. Once again, I think USC covers on the road. I don't think they get to the 46.5 because you're putting the onus on Michigan to try to get there, and I don't think they do.
Notre Dame, the last time they hosted a MAC team, well, we all know what happened.
Yeah.
Another MAC team coming in Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
Don't think we're going to see a repeat.
28-43.5. It's an easy cover.
Okay. A game we have vested interest in, Arkansas and Auburn. Do we just keep that silent?
You had to bring that. Well, no, I mean, you don't have to bring that one. You don't have to be silent about it. I mean, the boss is not all that happy about the current state of affairs. She's not the only one who's not happy about the current state of affairs. Auburn's at 58.5, which basically means the juice box purveyors don't know either. And so they're just like, yeah, these teams are even. Auburn's a 3-point favorite. 58.5. I don't know if you get to the 58.5. And I mean, and tickets, by the way, as low as $11 to get in the door. So it's that close to being football on a budget as we get closer and closer to maybe.
Well, this is two teams, and this is a must-win for either one of those programs.
Yeah, for both of them. Yeah, absolutely it is.
Because they're trying to get back into relevancy in the SEC.
Good luck.
And yeah, exactly. I feel you there. All right, game I'm kind of looking forward to: Utah and Oklahoma State.
Take the over.
This is probably a preview of the championship game for the Big 12.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game, take the over because there's going to be points scored.
54.5 is the total. Take the over, and that might be halfway through the third quarter at 54.5. Utah's a 2. Get-in price is $76. I like Utah in this one. Take the over.
Well, this is something that Oklahoma fans have been looking forward to for since they joined the SEC. Well, it was announced that they're going to join the SEC 2 years ago, having a blue blood program for the SEC come to Norman, and they get that with Tennessee coming in to Norman to take on the OU Sooners. Look, what I saw of Oklahoma, that's a good football team. What I've seen of Tennessee, that is an elite football team. So I kind of like the Vols in this one, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Sooners won it.
So Tennessee's a 757.5 get-in price at Memorial Stadium is $160. Watch this one on TV and enjoy the experience. It's on primetime ABC. I don't know if you get to the 7, to your point. I think because it's in Norman, I think that it's closer than 7. I think, though, it is north of 57.5. I think that this one screams shootout. And Nico Iamaleava, right now 698, 6-2. I think he's going to have another big night. But take the over, take Oklahoma to cover. I don't think it gets to the 7.
What I'm curious about is what the atmosphere is going to be like in Norman. It's going to be fever pitch, yes. But Oklahoma is not really a place where you think about, and they've had great programs for years. I've seen games in Norman, and it just never had the same feel as an SEC or even a Big 12. It just never had that feel that you have at Sanford Stadium or at Neyland, or even at Darrell K. Royal. I'd like to see that change, and this might be the time where it does change when you bring in a Tennessee.
We're really looking forward to seeing just how completely and totally out of control the fans are leading into this one. Because remember, this game is a 7:30 kick in Norman, which means that to get a decent parking space in Norman for either team, you got to get there early, which means that folks are going to be enjoying themselves early, and they're going to continue to enjoy themselves in the middle of the afternoon for the 3:30s, and they're going to be enjoying themselves getting into the game.
Oh, there are going to be plenty of Sooner cocktails flowing.
Oh boy,
in Norman. Ooh. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that game. I'm looking forward to all the games coming up in week 4 of the college football season. We thank Ryan Leaf for coming on the College Football X. And John, I look forward to getting back together with you next week to talk more college football and see what other damage we can do.
See what other trouble we can get into, and we imagine it's a lot. Once again, thanks to Ryan Lee for taking time out of his hyper-busy schedule to come and hang out with us. We're still chasing the programs that are new in college football this year. We've got 2 left on the board. Hey, that means you, New England College. Hey, that means you, Anderson. We're chasing after you. We want you to be a part of things here on the X. And we want to see who the survivors are out of this week and see how things head into next week. But that's why we're watching them now. And don't forget, support your local football program, regardless of level. And if it means maybe paying a little more than $10 to get in the door sometime to support your local program, support somebody new, by the way. Don't just support your program. Support somebody else that might be new down the road that you hadn't thought of before. Hey, maybe I'll go catch a game over here, because you never know what you're going to find out until you walk in the door.
So for Jon Nelson, I'm John Wilkerson. Enjoy the games this weekend. We'll see you next week.
Please like and subscribe.
Thanks for listening to the College Football X. You can find this and past shows by downloading the OSG Sports app on your mobile device, and enjoy all of our shows from the OSG Sports Podcasting Network. The OSG Sports app is up and running. Download it today.